You're watching Fox 21 News at 9, bringing you the most local news. We are Southern Colorado.
Tonight on Fox 21 Local News at 9, the trial of the man accused of killing his teenage Walgreens coworker has started. How long jury selection is anticipated to take?
And a whole lot of history in the city above the clouds. We are kicking off We Are Woodland Park Week with a look back on the city's past. Good evening and thank you for joining us for Fox 21 Local News at 9. I'm Austin Sack in for Scott Kilbury.
And I'm Taylor Bishop. First on Fox 21, day one of the trial of the Southern Colorado man accused of murdering 17-year-old Riley Whitelaw at a Walgreens in Colorado Springs.
Joshua Johnson has pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder. Fox 21's Maggie Wolanski tells us what happened in court today.
This morning, around 60 people filled the courtroom for jury selection, where they were told Johnson is pleading not guilty. When asked if they had knowledge of this case, more than half of them raising their hands. In June of last year, police responded to a 911 call from the Walgreens on Centennial Boulevard. A store manager told police she was concerned after employee Riley Whitelaw did not return from a break. When police arrived, they found her dead. Court documents show Whitelaw previously told her manager that her coworker Joshua Johnson made her uncomfortable and requested to work a different schedule. The arrest affidavit shows Johnson admitted to police that he was in the break room and fell in blood, then went home and changed clothes. After the incident, Johnson was later found walking along I-25 near Trinidad with scratches on his hand and face and arrested for the alleged first-degree murder of Whitelaw. The trial was delayed several times, with defense requesting 2 competency evaluations. Johnson again is pleading not guilty for first-degree murder. Earlier today, potential jurors were dismissed and asked to return tomorrow afternoon. Several people in court raised concerns about the emotional toll this trial will have on them, as they have teenage children at home. A new batch of jurors will come tomorrow morning as jury selection continues, and once that's finalized, opening statements will start. You can find the latest details on fox21news.com. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Maggie. We'll keep you all updated. Now, a Colorado Springs woman has been found guilty of selling fentanyl that led to a boy's death last year.
On January 30th of 2022, Marlene McGuire sold 4 pills that contained fentanyl to 3 boys near a fire station in Security Widefield who thought they were buying Percocets. The boys split 1 pill, then the following day, one of the boys took a single lethal pill.
Just last week, McGuire was found guilty by a jury for her role in conspiracy to distribute fentanyl, resulting in the death of a minor. Sentencing is scheduled for December 6th.
The Air Force Academy says a court-martial started today for a cadet accused of sexual assault. Cadet Eamon McHugh has been charged with 2 specifications of sexual assault in violation of the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
Pueblo police arresting 2 brothers for kidnapping and sexual assault, among other charges, after a SWAT standoff last week.
On Friday, officers found out multiple teens were held inside a home where 20-year-old Elijah Cancino and 31-year-old Ernest Cancino Vigil would not let them leave. They did eventually escape and called Pueblo PD, who learned the house was on Taylor Avenue near Northern Avenue and I-25. Officers
responded and several people came out, including Elijah Cancino, who was taken into custody. Cancino Vigil refused to leave and the SWAT team responded. Eventually, Cancino Vigil came out and was taken into custody. Both brothers were booked for multiple felony and misdemeanor charges.
Colorado Springs police are investigating an overnight shooting which left 1 person dead in the northeast part of the city. Just after 1 o'clock this morning, a woman called CSPD and said she was about to be attacked by a man she just met, so she shot him before leaving the scene. Officers contacted her at a hospital, and based on information she provided, they found a man dead in the parking lot of an apartment complex on Alpine Current View near Woodman and Union. The caller was interviewed and released, and homicide detectives are now investigating.
And Colorado Springs police are also investigating after a man was found dead in eastern Colorado Springs Sunday morning. Around 3 o'clock in the morning, officers were called to Divine Heights near Tut Boulevard and South Carefree Circle for a reported shooting. When officers arrived, they found a man dead inside the apartment. Police say no arrests have been made, but everyone involved is accounted for, and there is currently no danger to the public.
We are learning more about the victim in a major crash that left others injured earlier this month in Colorado Springs.
Yeah, it happened in the the area of Platte Avenue and Institute Street on September 17th. Police say a vehicle was going east on Platte near North Institute when the driver apparently lost control and hit the median, causing the vehicle to roll and ejecting everyone inside.
All 3 people were taken to the hospital where 22-year-old Randy Castro later died from his injuries. Police say the other passenger is still being treated for life-threatening injuries, and the driver got medical treatment and was booked into the El Paso County Jail. This is the 33rd fatal crash in Colorado Springs this year.
A pay increase is coming for staff at the Florence Correctional Complex in Fremont County. Senators Michael Bennet and John Hickenlooper say the Biden administration has approved a 25% retention bonus for correctional officers and non-custodial staff. In December, the senators urged the Biden administration to increase pay and address working conditions. Despite this pay boost, the complex was still short-staffed by 129 workers as of April.
A reminder, people in southern Colorado can expect to see smoke in the area this week as the U.S. Forest Service conducts controlled burns. The burn is expected to cover 400 acres in the Ensign Gulch area near Rampart Range Road and Forest Service Road 314. The burns will help reduce fuel around a reservoir and water storage facilities in the area. Smoke will be visible in El Paso, Teller, Pueblo, Fremont Park, and Douglas counties. The El Paso County Sheriff's Office is asking people to refrain from calling 911 if they see smoke and only call if they see unsupervised flames.
We are Southern Colorado, and this week we are Woodland Park. So what better way to kick it off than by start at the beginning?
Fox 21's Rhea Jaw tells us the history of the city above the clouds with a little help from the Ute Pass Historical Society and takes us back in time to what used to be the quintessential Wild West.
And there were gunfights, revenuers chasing down the guy with the booze in his truck.
Everyone wanted to come out here and experience the Wild West.
Woodland Park wasn't always the whimsical city above the clouds. Its roots are actually in rowdy rodeos and restricted games of roulette.
Just like, you know, in the Westerns, they look for that relaxation and entertainment, which is in the form of wine, women, and song, if you will. And so we did meet some of those needs here in town.
But before the cowboys, it was originally the Ute tribe who inhabited the mountain land.
Woodland Park started because of the Ute Pass. The Ute Pass was the easiest way to get up the mountains here. That's what the Utes first did. And then later on, the wagon trains came up the pass, and then eventually it was the train, and the train changed the whole game.
Shortly after the Colorado Midland Railway was built, Woodland Park officially became a town in 1891, coining its name from all the trees that surround the city.
It was a lumbering town, supplying timber for the mines at Cripple Creek and the railroad.
Once the train came around, they advertised all over the place, and anybody who wanted to escape the heat in the summertime, they came out here.
The heat wasn't the only thing people were trying to escape. In the early 1900s, Woodland Park became a haven from tuberculosis.
They did find that if you went to a higher climate with lots of sunshine, that the disease didn't seem to spread as much. I was doing a history of all the early little businesses in this town, and almost every single business had someone in the family that had tuberculosis.
What also came up in the early 1900s was the ranching and rodeos.
That was such a big thing, you know, it was the Westerns and the dime store novels and the mystique of the West. And so it was a huge draw for people to come up here. It was like, you didn't go to Disneyland, you went to a dude ranch.
Now, many people think of Woodland Park as a pit stop on the way to the mountains. But while you're there, try to imagine what once was and enjoy the view while you're at it. The city's nickname resonates for a reason.
As I say, check behind all these trees. We're on the mantelpiece of Pikes Peak.
Rhea Jaw, Fox 21 News. We are Woodland Park.
And we are excited to celebrate Woodland Park this whole week. Well, still ahead on Fox 21 News at 9, you may be noticing some new license plates on the road.
I know I have. We'll tell you just how popular they are and how people are giving back to different organizations with every purchase of these throwback plates.
And the former president's lawyers are meeting a Colorado-based lawsuit head on. The motion they filed to keep Donald Trump on the ballot in our state.